And the reason also why it's clear that Trump doesn't just want to reduce the tariffs that other countries apply is because the EU came to the table and said, we'll apply 0% tariffs for 0% tariffs, i.e., we will remove all tariffs if you remove all your tariffs. And what did Trump say? He said, nope, don't want that. Because what he really wants is for those countries to open their markets to American goods by changing regulation and safety controls. Because the way he sees it is that tariffs are not just this tax that you apply to certain goods. It's actually you use tariffs by putting in regulation within the country that makes it hard for other countries to enter the market by, for example, saying that cars have to have a certain limit to their emissions for them to operate on the roads in Europe. And because American cars have high emissions, they're usually bigger. Set aside that some of those cars don't even fit on the size of the roads we have in Europe. It's just older cities with big cars. It doesn't work. But forget that point, which Trump seems to miss. If you have high emissions, which they do in the U.S., there are standards over here that doesn't allow you to sell those cars in here. And so he wants the EU to change their regulations so companies can sell those goods. It's the same thing with beef treated with growth hormone or chlorinated chicken, or a lot of goods that are treated with pesticides that are illegal in the EU, in some EU countries and the UK, or some products that you put on your face that have ingredients that are, again, disallowed. You're not able to use in those countries, but you're allowed to use them in the US. This is something that I feel is actually very dangerous because, yes, those goods will come in and it's a cheaper product possibly that will enter the market, but cheaper doesn't mean good, especially when it comes to agriculture and these kind of health products. What Trump is doing, he's bullying countries to change their safety regulation rules so that they buy more American goods. And that's not to say that the EU does use its regulation as a way to stop or hinder competition. So it does abuse that power that it holds around its regulation because certain things have to be a certain standard. And so even though some goods may not meet those standards, but they're not dangerous. And so it allows the EU to have that power to say, we're not putting a tariff, but these are the regulations. And so you need to change how you do things in order to enter the market. There is abuse there, but at the same time, some of these regulations are needed for safety concerns and they're appropriate, which they don't match up to the regulations that they have in the US. And as one of the least healthy countries, being the US, I don't think we need to lower our standards to meet them. They need to raise their standards to meet us. But Trump doesn't want to do that, of course.